Hey, we're still having a contest which closes tomorrow at noon, so check out this video, and also I've got something to talk to you guys about. That something significant has happened here on the homestead, so hang around. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We're having this contest. I announced about 2-3 weeks ago that I hit 5,000 subscribers, and I was having a contest celebrating my 5,000th subscriber. Check out that video. I will leave a link to it below because there's instructions on that video on how to enter the contest. What I'm giving away in the contest is a seed vault, kind of like what this one is, and also I'm giving a 1-year subscription to Countryside Small Stock Journal magazine. It's personally my favorite magazine, and it has a variety of different subjects on homesteading, gardening, and everything about rural farming, urban farming. There's a lot of good ideas in this magazine. That's why I like it so well. It's kind of like Mother Earth News, but it's cool. On December 13th, something significantly was beginning to happen with my YouTube channel, and I can't explain it. I don't know why or how it started out, but I had a video go viral. Interesting to sit back and watch this. We got really excited. You don't know what caused this to catapult into the stratosphere. This one video, it started getting a huge amount of views just suddenly within a few days. It just exploded on the internet. And last night at about 11:45, it peaked. And I got my 100,000th view on that video. And it's a video I uploaded back in October, so I had a slow start to it. But then it caught on like I said, on December 13th. And December 15th, it reached its peak. It was just a phenomenal event that happened here on the homestead. Not sure still what happened. So those 5,000 subscribers, ironically, because of the video, introduced my show or my channel to more of an audience. So I now have, in 3 weeks, I have exploded from 5,000 subscribers to 9,000 subscribers. I've added 4,000 in, since I've announced this contest. It's just mind-boggling. So I've also got well over 500 comments and compliments on that one video. So I think I'm going to take this time and try to answer some of the most common questions about that video. And I think I know why that video, it really struck a chord with a lot of people struggling with disabilities and who are homeless. I didn't realize that homelessness has really affected Americans that much. And it's also struck people around the world. There's been all kinds of views I've been getting, comments from people all over the globe. So it's kind of neat that I'm able to reach out and give some people encouragement. But the compliments, the questions, I try to answer your questions. So here's some answers to some general questions. I keep getting the question, where am I? Where do I live? Well, I live in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest, west-southwest of Crater Lake. That's about all I'm going to say. I don't want to really pinpoint my address or where I live. I still want to maintain some anonymity as far as personal goes, because like I mentioned in earlier shows, I do not show you guys everything about my life here on the homestead. And so check a map out. See where Crater Lake National Park is. There's only one Crater Lake National Park. And we live in close proximity to the park. Another question to the video has to do with, how did we end up homeless? I can only say it was circumstances beyond our control. I lost my job as one major factor. I did not have a marketable skill as another factor, and we literally had to flee where we were living because my family was in danger. I'm not going to go into detail. Don't ask anything more about that because I'm going to ignore the question. The individual responsible is now in prison, so things are okay with the family now. We're safe. This whole adventure of being homeless was eye-opening, and it was incredibly stressful. The act of being homeless and being responsible for your family is, for a father, was so unbearably stressful, and it was the stress that caused the heart issues and ended up in cardiac arrest on Easter Sunday while we were homeless. And you think you're at the bottom of the barrel when you're homeless with your family. No, you're not. You're at the bottom of the barrel when you get your health ripped out from underneath of you when you're homeless, and you have no way of providing to your family after that point. You can't take part-time jobs or temporary jobs. You can't even look for work. You no longer qualify for unemployment. You can't take advantage of any programs that are out there to help you if you were healthy. When you're sick and you're out, you're out. And as far as Social Security goes, I couldn't qualify. Fighting 4 years for SSI, I couldn't get it. But finally, I was able to get my health back, because that's when I resolved to get back on my feet. And that's when I started taking these workshops through the state. They had a rehabilitation department that I was able to link up with, that our state provided. Even though I wasn't getting an income, I was able to go take advantage of free workshops. Of course, my doctor refused to let me go back to work because of multiple issues with my heart. But in spite of that, I went and looked into these workshops, and I was able to learn some really good, valuable things to help me get back on my feet. So no unemployment. The only thing we got at that time was food stamps. That was it. That was the only income we got. The rest of it was just, a blessing here or there as we needed it. We prayed about it, and it just came miraculously. That's a whole nother chapter in our life. Like I said, way beyond our control. And so here we are today, taking those workshops, firing my doctor because she refused to let me go back to work, and I hired a new doctor, and I negotiated with them to help me figure out what I can do and focus on, and this is where I learned how to focus on my abilities rather than my disabilities, and focus on maybe some talents and skills I could hone, work on, or develop. So I linked up with another organization called Job Council that was available in our state, and that was free. And they helped me secure the education I needed to become a certified nurse's aide, which got my foot in the door into the medical field. And that was the requirement that my doctor allowed me to go, because I negotiated with him saying, if I get skills in the medical field and I work in an area within steps of the crash cart in case something else happened to my heart, would he agree to release me to go back to work? And he released me, so I was able to go to work, and I now work, ironically, saving lives 3 days a week in a hospital, in a cardiac center. So I'm with a staff, a group of people that are aware of my condition, but I've been there 13 years now, and I've been really enjoying the work. Sorry to ramble on. This goes a little bit more in depth over that video that went viral, but hopefully this will answer more, some of the questions. One thing I did learn in one of those workshops with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation was there was this one sentence that somebody presented. I don't know who the author is, but that sentence was, to me, very empowering. And the sentence was, "If it is to be, it is up to me." And that's what changed my life and helped me turn around and rethink my whole position. I was able to start walking forward and challenging life head on without fear, with a boldness. And so what? If I failed at one thing, I just keep trying, and until I found success in something. And then we got back on our feet. We were staying at Acorn Acres on this lovely ranch up the road, and I was able to sock some money away, but things came up where the money went. But we were able to buy a better home. We bought a 40-foot fifth wheel from a couple who held it back and saved it for us to sell it to us after I got a job. So as soon as I got a job, I was able to buy that. And I bought that fifth wheel for about $15,000. We paid like crazy on that. Every bonus I got, every tax return we put into that fifth wheel, we stocked as much money as we could to get it paid off. And they carried that note for us interest free until I got it paid off. And I had it paid off within 3 years. So that was really advantageous to us because we finally got out of that leaky old camp trailer that we were all cramped into. By that time, my daughter had been able to move out, get a job, get her own place. And then my son was staying with us. We got a secondary camp trailer for him to stay in, for him to have his own space. So there we lived, and then the opportunity presented itself. I was able to buy this manufactured home from a coworker of mine, and she offered it to me for $10,000. So I was able to give her $3,000 down, $300 a month, until we had a significant amount of money come in, and we were able to completely pay for it. Within about 9 months, we paid it off, and then I was able to store it where we were living for a couple of years, and then found this property completely accidentally. I saw weeds growing over the driveway, thinking to myself, hey, this looks abandoned. Well, indeed, it was abandoned. The gentleman who had owned it previously died, and nobody was living to pay the taxes. So the county, after non-payment for 4 years, seizes it, and then they offer it up for auction on their surplus property auction list at minimum bid price, only if nobody purchased it at the auction on the auction date. Well, this particular property, out of the 14 properties that were listed, this one did not sell that day. So they offered it at minimum bid price. So it was 2 months later, after the auction had passed, I was able to come on, call her, and find out what the deals and terms were. And that's when I was able to pay 10% down. And this is the answer to another question that people keep asking me. How much did I pay for this property? I paid technically nothing to get onto the property because I went down to a title loan company and got a loan on the title on my car, which I owned outright, and was able to secure $6,000 to be able to use as a down payment to initiate the contract and paperwork to be able to buy this property, because I felt it was important. Once we got onto the property, we'll worry about getting that loan paid off later. So we hurriedly was paying the loan off, and we got the property. The initial cost was $60,000, but the property value is, I think it's valued 3 times more than that. So we got it at a percentage of the value. The county got it for nothing. Actually, they got it for what was owed in back taxes, and back taxes on this property are around $1,100 a year. So that answers another question that people keep asking me, is how much are my taxes? And another question is, paying all the back taxes. Well, the cost of selling the property to me included the built-in price of paying the back taxes on the property. So all the back taxes are paid for. The county was able to clear the property, so there's no liens on it. There's no other claims or ownership claims on the property. It's free and clear. And I just have a 20-year promissory note to pay to the county. My monthly payments are about half that as what we pay for rent in our area, which allows me to free up more of my income to be able to help pay the mortgage down even more, because I'm able to pay more on the mortgage or the payments on the promissory note, and then also on that title loan we're able to get it paid off fast. So that's how we were able to fund this place. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope I've answered a lot of your questions on the who, what, when, where, how, why. And this is it. What you see is what you get. I didn't buck the system. I didn't manipulate the system. It's just one of those things that are out there that people don't realize. I talk to other real estate agents and people who own real estate offices, and share with them how I got my property, and a lot of them simply aren't aware of this method. It's just one of those things that it's not widely advertised, it's not widely known. I know there are some people who are upset with me because they were capitalizing on this, and I let the cat out of the bag. They were able to go out and buy properties the same way I got my property, and make a lot of money in flipping properties like this. I'm not in it to flip properties. I'm offering you guys information free. There's no strings attached. You don't owe me anything. I don't want anything in return from you. I just want you guys to be able to be encouraged instead of being discouraged, and realize there's other methods out there to obtaining the American dream. So in a nutshell, that video that went viral is like the Reader's Digest condensed version of the adventure of our life that we took. And that video basically spans a 15-year period of our lives. Or no, actually, it doesn't. It spans an 18-year period of our lives, from the time we went homeless until the time we got redirected and back on our feet, and then we've been here for 5 years. I don't consider myself poor now. I am okay. We're upper lower class, or upper lower income, I guess, bracket is where we're living, but we've decided to live beneath our means and be frugal, and that's evident in all my videos that I show you guys how to do things cheap or free, and building my outbuildings for my homestead, building them with reusable, recycled material that people don't want anymore. There's a lot of things out there people don't want, but they're treasures to me. I could use them. And you guys can find the same and use that same pattern in your lives as I did. it's just one of the ways out of your circumstances if you're homeless. And that's one thing I've gotten so many encouraging comments from people who are homeless, who have lost hope. And this story has sparked hope in them. I just want to wish you guys luck on your adventure. There are states that I know of, and I'm getting comments from viewers who have done this. Texas is a good resource of land. There are a lot of cheap lands in Texas. There's a lot of cheap land in Oregon. There's some in Arkansas. Those are the lands I know of that people are getting for cheap or very inexpensive, and they're having the same kind of programs. Just, you guys have to take the initiative yourself. So to reiterate, it did take us 18 years to get to this point from the time we went homeless to Homestead. So stay tuned for more videos, and also check out that video for the contest on receiving a year subscription of Countryside Small Stock Journal magazine with a bonus gift to one winner of this seatbelt. Thank you for coming along for the ride and peeking in on our adventure. We've got more adventures coming on soon, so stay tuned for those. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. My coffee's done. I'm going to go get me a cup and relax and enjoy the morning and process this video. We'll see you guys in more videos. Bye-bye.